of research. This term is very close to research ethics, but they are not the same. People mistake responsible conduct of research for research ethics. Omo ìyá ni, but I mean, there is Allah in between. So I'm hoping we are able to link up with Professor Olumakai, and she will give us 15 minutes of that presentation. Then we'll go on to Professor Ozeni. I hope you had a nice evening. Thank you.
That we should just do something like 15 minutes, like a reminder. That cannot be too much for us to remind ourselves on what responsible about what you're doing, and we must congratulate you because you must congratulate you because you successfully concluded the series of training. And in the next 10 to 15 minutes, we'll be talking about research integrity and responsible conduct of research. Can I share my screen, please? I want to share my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Can we all see it now?
Yes.
Is it showing? I need to be sure that you are seeing what I'm projecting.
Yes.
Oh, lovely. And I want to also congratulate the new participants, those who were successful in the application that will be starting. I don't know whether they have even started. That will be starting the next series of training with the Uasp in Washington, D.C. It's a big thing. Congratulations to you all. So like I said, it's research. Next slide. Okay, the outline briefly, we're going to be looking at what is research in a very simple term. Then why do we have to protect our research? Then who is involved in the protection of this research? And what is research integrity? We'll briefly talk about what is the responsible conduct of research. Then we'll look at research misconduct. What do we consider as misconduct in research? Then prevention of research misconduct, the role of institution and individual. Then we will conclude. What is research? From the dictionary, this is the dictionary definition of research. It says it's a systematic investigation into and study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. It is a creative work undertaken to increase the stock of knowledge. It involves the collection, organization, and analysis of information. We can look at research from different perspectives. This is just the definition of research. And as researchers, we all know what research is. Then why do we have to protect our research? Research is an essential part of the academic mission. The whole world relies on the institutions, especially universities and researchers, to come up with new findings, especially when there are issues to be addressed worldwide. Then protection of the integrity of research and creative activities is fundamental to the reputation of any university. We need to protect our research because it is very fundamental in the reputation of any university. All members of the university community have a role to play in protecting our research. The university's high standards for scholarly integrity must be preserved. Every university should strive to create a research climate that promotes truthful adherence to high ethical standards in the conduct of research while not impeding the productivity and creativity of researcher. Research misconduct is an offense which damages the reputation of those involved and also that of the institution. It is in the best interest of the public and of academia to prevent misconduct in research. It is the responsibility of the faculty. When we talk of faculty, we are talking of faculty members, the staff, and administration of the university to ensure the credibility and trustworthiness of research conducted. Research integrity is applicable to the faculty, that is the faculty members, like researchers, early career researchers, seniors, and whatever category of researcher you belong to, all staff, both academic and non-academic, administrative, technical staff, everybody is very relevant when it comes to research integrity. Students that we are training, very importantly, so whatever we impart into them is what they will live with. Then the trainees too, like the postgraduate students and those that are coming for short courses that we are training on some skills or whatever. Then other individuals that are responsible, like those that we collaborate with, like the industry, all stakeholders, let me put it that way. They are very, very important when it comes to research integrity, and it is applicable to all of them. So now, let's talk about research integrity. We've been talking about research integrity. What does it actually mean? It is the use of honest and verifiable methods in proposing, that is number one, performing, number two, and evaluating research, number three, then reporting research results with particular attention to adherence to rules, regulations, guidelines, and following commonly accepted professional codes or norms. Those are the keywords. Proposing, when you are writing your proposal, you must carry your research integrity bag along. When you are performing the research, after it has been approved, it's very, very essential that you follow your protocol in your proposal. Number three, when you are evaluating the research findings, very, very essential. We'll still talk about it later on. Then when you are reporting it, when you are discussing it or presenting it for publication, very, very important. And you have to pay attention to rules, regulations, guidelines, and all the professional codes or norms that are acceptable. Let's look at the examples of areas where we need to give attention to. Number one, you ensure that privileged information. When you're talking of research integrity, the areas where people flout research integrity issues are: number one, when you are exposed or privileged to have some information as a reviewer, when you review a proposal or a manuscript. We've heard of cases of reviewers stealing ideas from a researcher and converting it to their own. That is lack of integrity. When you are in that position and you have an opportunity to review a proposal or read through somebody else's manuscript, then you have to protect your integrity by ensuring that you respect that knowledge. The confidentiality agreement that we sign, I think the IP people know more about confidentiality agreement, that whatever you are exposed to, you sign an agreement that yes, you are going to keep it personal. It's not something you go to start discussing with other people until it has reached the public domain through publication or conference attendance or presentation and other means. Then other types of confidential research information are only used as authorized. Then, including authors, only those that have contributed appropriately to the research. This is very common among researchers. There is what is called enduring publications. Because your friend needs to move to the next cadre, and probably is not getting enough publications to move him to the next cadre or level, you decided that, okay, my next publication, despite the fact that you didn't contribute anything, I'm going to add your own as a co-author. It is very, 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 very wrong. So you must include only authors who have contributed significantly and appropriately to the research. The only thing you can do for such people is to help them read through their manuscript, guide them. But once they have not contributed to your research, it is wrong of you. It is not morally right for you to add them as a co-author, all because you want to help them. You are not helping them. You are only causing more harm than good. Then ensuring that approved research funds are appropriately used. This is another area where people flout research integrity rules or norms. When you win a grant, you have your budget, you told your sponsor what you want to spend the money on. It is morally wrong and ethically wrong and academically wrong for you to divert that fund for other purposes. So these are research integrity issues. Then the last one is appropriately reporting instances of inappropriate conduct of research. Most of us, we turn our face or eyes away from misconduct when we see them. We always say, let me say it in Yoruba, and if you continue with that attitude, research integrity issues will continue in the among researchers. But when you discover that some people are engaging in them, you don't have to report them at first, but encourage them. I have done that severally, calling on individuals and telling them what you are doing is wrong, what you are doing is not right. Do it this way, go that way. So such as reckless disregard for accuracy, talking about failure to supervise adequately. So many students fail because the supervisors are not available. It's a research integrity issue. When a student is allocated to you for supervision, you must make yourself available. The non-disclosure of conflict of interest, I think we dwelt so much on this when Mr. Akindele came from Ibadan the other time. Then other lapses from professional conduct of neglect of academic duties. When you have a responsibility, one must prove responsible. That, okay, you are being paid to do this job and you must be at your duty post. For instance, now, I am not in the country presently, but my heart, my spirit, my whole body is with you there. If I had my way, it's as if I should jump into the next flight and come back to attend this, despite the distance. And we decided, okay, let me join virtually to deliver this. That is being responsible. That is what integrity is all about. When you say you want to do something, you must do it. You must create time and do that which you are committed to do. Then people will know that you have integrity. You are somebody of high integrity. Now, let's talk about responsible conduct of research. What does it mean? It is a practice of scientific investigation with integrity. It involves the awareness and application of established professional norms and ethical principles in the performance of all activities related to research, to scientific research. All activities, like I said, from proposal for conceptualization to proposal to the delivery, reporting, and publication. It's a wide range. Every step all the way in pre-post research award, the research integrity is very, very essential. What is research misconduct now? Having talked about research integrity, having talked about research, responsible conduct of research, now what is misconduct? Misconduct talks about the fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, or other practices that seriously deviate from those that are commonly accepted within the academic community for proposing, performing, or reviewing research or in reporting research results. From the definition of research integrity and the definition of responsible conduct of research, if you now go against those things that was said research integrity covers, then that is what is referred to as research misconduct. And they are usually classified into, or they are presented, or research misconduct is presented in three forms: in fabrication, in falsification, and plagiarism. Research misconduct does not include, I want you to note this, honest error. There are some errors you commit honestly, inadvertently, not intentionally. If that happens when you are reporting, that cannot be categorized as research misconduct. You just go back and check again and correct it if it is pointed out. But if you did it intentionally to mislead or to present result that you did not get, that is misconduct. Then differences of opinion, you have your own opinion, I have my own opinion. If we are to come to the table to discuss, yes, there is not about preponderant argument now. It's about looking at a particular issue from different perspectives. As researchers, we are open to knowledge. Then we come together, harmonize our ideas. But you must have your facts and figures right. Then honest differences in interpretation or judgment of data, comparing it with what others have done before. So all these are areas of research misconduct. Now, let's take it one after the other. Those three components of research misconduct. Number one, we talked about fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. What is fabrication? Fabrication, which is ranging from blatant, not the word, blatant fabrication of selective reporting with the intent to falsify things in order to suit your own intention. That is wrong. There is no right or wrong answer in research. When you go to the field or you go to the lab, whatever you come up with, report it. There will always be explanation for whatever results you have. That is why it is called research. You look into it. Others will look at the gap or the reason why you got that result, and they will build on it. But don't ever, don't ever falsify your finding. You have to be open-minded. Don't go to the field with a biased mind. I always tell my students, for instance, when you want to go and examine or assess the nutritional status of a community, probably it's a poor community, you discover, okay, you already have the mindset that this community, they are poor, then certainly the nutritional status will not be too good. And you went with that mindset. And when you get there, you now discover that it wasn't like that they are poor, but they may be eating well, probably because of the environment they are. Then you now look at what they are doing that is making the nutritional status to be right, as against what you had in mind when you went to the field. That's what we call the deviant. Maybe there is a particular group in that community that really did well as against others. You focus on those ones, that what are these people doing correctly? And that is what you project. Enough of us presenting ourselves in Africa negatively. Most of the time when we go to the field, we want to look at the negative thing to present. Focus more on the positive. Hold on that, onto that as the deviant. Though this is the norm, but this particular result shows otherwise. Then focus on that and project that, so that others who are on the other side can imbibe or adapt the method or whatever those people are doing that makes the nutritional status to be right. So it is making up data or results and recording or reporting them. That is falsification. That is fabrication. You are intentionally fabricating results, falsifying results. Then now when we talk of falsification now, both of them sound confusing. I will release the slide after the presentation, so you just have to look at the difference. There is a clear-cut difference between the two. Falsification talks about manipulating research materials, equipment, or processes, or changing or omitting data or results such that the research is not accurately represented in the research record. Intentional misrepresentation, including all intentional attempts to mislead others in a scientific or public community regarding the research. Talking about manipulating equipment. When you go to the lab, maybe you work in the lab and you have a particular equipment that's already calibrated, that probably the standard, that when you get to this particular level, that is when you have the standard. But because you want to get the results in a very quick manner, you decide to recalibrate your own to suit your own purpose. You manipulate the equipment, you manipulate the process for you to get what you want to get. It is not what you want to get, it is what the result says that should be very paramount in our heart. So you can see the difference between fabrication and falsification. You fabricate when you come up with results, you already have the result and you change the results. Falsification is before you even go to conduct the research, you already tampered with the equipment, with the process, with everything, with the protocols to suit your purpose. So that is falsification. Then the third component of research misconduct is plagiarism. This is the talk of the town in academic world, even worldwide, even in developed countries. Plagiarism is an issue and everybody is taking it very seriously now. I think recently there was a decision extract that was circulated in the university of a researcher whose promotion was stepped down because of plagiarism. I think the external assessor reported that it was about 80% plagiarism in the work, and the decision extract was circulated around the university. So university is taking it so seriously now because of integrity and reputation of the university. This is the appropriation of another person's idea, processes, result or words without giving appropriate credit. It is the representation of another person's work as owns work, as if you own the work, including the intentional omission of acknowledgement of the contributions of colleagues to the research. That is plagiarism. When you quote another person's word verbatim as if it is yours, you can write a whole page from people's quotations, but you have to acknowledge the source. You can have more than 20 references in a page. I think plagiarism talks about, I was asked, I think I read somewhere or I heard somewhere that when you write 3 lines without reference, it shows that they are your words. If you write 3 lines, you type 3 lines when you are typing your document, 3 lines without a reference, you are already plagiarizing. So that should be a guide. So in 3 lines, you can have 2 references there. Even in a word, if somebody find out something about something and you are quoting it, quote the person. It costs you nothing. It makes your work rich. But don't ascribe the glory to yourself as if you were the one that did the finding and you are reporting it. So very, very important. We call it copy and paste without acknowledgement. Now, let's talk about prevention of research misconduct in our institution. The institution has a role, has a responsibility to play, has a role to play. Then individuals have their own roles too. The institution must provide an enabling environment for creativity, where faculty and staff members will develop independently and productively in their chosen fields. The enabling environment must be there, and I think that is one of the things ASU is clamoring for, that is dragging this strike unnecessarily and almost indefinitely, so heart-aching and disturbing that the government is not doing anything about it. We are all aware of the state of laboratories, of lecture rooms and all of that. How can somebody think rightly in such a condition? Even if you want to perform an experiment and you don't have the right equipment, the equipment are obsolete, certainly the result you are going to get will not be correct. So that is the enabling environment work of the institution, working with the sponsor or the sponsor or the funder of the university to provide that. Then provide training to faculty, staff, and other individuals. Like we are doing now, we are providing training so that people will be aware of what research is. I want to rush because my time is running out. I have 40 minutes. I hope I will be upgraded. Then individual responsibility now. Talking about the awareness of university policy. Do we have a research integrity policy? No. We don't have in the university. And that is one of the things this team, our USP team, is working on, so that we can publish a standalone research integrity policy. Yes, we have university research policy, but the component of research integrity is somehow subsumed, maybe half a page, just mentioned by the way in the booklet. But we are coming up with a booklet, a policy, a standalone policy that will talk about the supervision of others, maintaining research record, collaborative effort, publication, and other dissemination of research findings. So it is an individual responsibility. Then the quality of research is more important than quantity as measure of productivity. It's not about the quantity, number of publications. It's about the quality. Yes, you may get the promotion from the quantity you are delivering when you are publishing, but what about external collaborators?
Funke.
I had an opportunity recently as I'm here in the UK.
Funke.
I just saw a mail about 2 months ago of a team from Cambridge University here inviting me to join their research team to develop a proposal for UKRI. I said, wow, this is a golden opportunity. I jumped at it, and we've been having meetings. We've submitted the intent now. How did they get to know about me? They said they saw a publication relating to what they are proposing that I did. and they contacted me that they would want me in that. Okay, ma, I'm rounding up here. So that is it. So it's about the quality, not the quantity. The conduct of research is very, very important. Let me skip. You can read up others. I've talked about authorship. I talked about data management. When you conduct a research, you must keep your data for minimum of 5 years after publication before you discard them. If it were to be sponsored projects, it has to be 10 years. Some have more than that. So it's an individual thing that you have to do. Then in conclusion, research misconduct is an offense which damages the reputation of those involved and also that of the institution. So you must watch it. Having gone through this training, it will be unheard of for you to be involved in research misconduct. We are about over 100 that went through this training. All of us can become change agents in our institution. If 100 of us do things right, we will positively influence others who are not doing them right. Let the supervisor supervise the supervisee, and the supervisee must be supervisable. Another thing is for you to have a student or somebody you are supervising and they are not available. Then let the mentor mentor the mentee, and the mentee must be mentorable too. This process for the past 1 year now is a mentoring procedure, and I'm happy that we are all mentorable, ably led by our respected Professor Kende Taiwo. I want to wish you all the best as you earn your certificate at the end of this session. Thank you to Professor Oseni for this session too. And I know you've been enjoying yourself since yesterday. Integrity is not something you show others. It is how you behave behind their back. That is what integrity is all about. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Funke, thank you very much. I just want to apologize. She had to rush. I gave her 15 minutes. She has done 40 minutes. And still she had to rush. She will share her slides with us and you will take time to go through with them. Honestly, we have a full schedule this morning. And again, we are hoping we'll be able to conclude. Please go offline. Okay? I'm a Odabo. Professor Uzeni.
Good morning. So good morning to all our colleagues. A great pleasure to start a new day. So today is the launching or the visualization of the site. So are we all ready? Okay. Now, we're going to divide this into a series of sub-events. The first event is we have a navigation video clip of about 10 minutes that shows us the entire site as a voiceover. So we're going to start with that. Then secondly, we're going to support that with the screenshots from the site for sake of emphasis. And then after doing that, we're going to expect feedback, preliminary feedback from the participants. And that is phase 1. Phase 2 is the real community of practice portion of the website. That is under a portal that is tagged the dashboard, and it requires login and password, because anything to do with proposals is held under confidentiality. Proposals are confidential. They are not displayed in the public gallery. So the dashboard enables the practice of grantsmanship. There are interactions. For example, under the dashboard in phase 2, you have the opportunity to create an account and you accumulate all your proposals, including the feedback from reviewers, as a curtain of confidentiality. So that is phase 2. So phase one is the general website layout, the contents, what drives grantsmanship, what are the opportunities for grantsmanship, what are the avenues, including a list of funding agencies globally. That is common to every grantsmanship website. And then the phase two is the platform under which we can now practice grantsmanship under a community of practice. Is SYL Media here? Is Mr. Odubela here? Is Tosin around? Not yet. He wanted an opportunity to introduce him to the audience. He was the contractor who developed the website, and we want to also promote his business so that you get to know him. But while waiting for him, we can jumpstart with the 10-minute video. Incidentally, the 10-minute video captures it all, about the website, the layout, the contents, and the navigation. But the main is beyond the website, is the avenue or platform for the practice of grantsmanship. That's where the dashboard comes in. And if you want to rank all universities globally, you say two categories. Universities that have a portal system for processing grants, and universities that do not. And then look at the ranking for the universities in the first category, and then compare with the ranking with the second categories. So we are going to jumpstart now. We hope the volume will be as loud as my colleague's presentation. So let's start. You have I should give you the mic. Volume now. Please start from the beginning.
OAUife.edu. Morning. This presentation is to introduce you to the OAU Community of Practice for Grantsmanship. This presentation is to introduce you to the OAU Community of Practice for Grantsmanship website. This website is a current research information system. There are so many other information systems like a learning management system, a transaction processing system, a health information system, an enterprise resource planning, and several other kinds of information system. This system is dedicated for the management of research in institutions like the Obafemi Awolo University. To have access to this website, you need to go to the URL. The URL is grantsmanship.oauife.edu.ng. grantsmanship.oauife.edu.ng. When you get to the website, you are going to see this landing page. The landing page is made up of the menu items which are at the header part of the website, the slider, and several other items has been displayed presently. I'm going to talk about the menu items. The menu items on the OU Community of Practice for Grantsmanship website allows you to navigate the website either internally or to an external link. There are a couple of menu items displayed on the website, but there are main menu items. The main menu items are Home, About OAU COP, News and Events, Research Project Lifecycle, Training and Workshop, Resources, the FAQ, the Sign Up, and the Login. The Home is the active menu item by default anytime we land on the website. The About OAU COP is the menu items that displays what this project is all about. So under the About OAU COP menu item, you can see the overview, vision and mission, contacts, About OAU COR, About IPTTO, OAU facts and figures for grants, and then of course there is an external link that links back to the OAU main website. You also have the news and event link. When you initiate that menu item, it goes straight to the news and event section on the home page of the website. You also have the research project lifecycle main menu item. That main menu item has some sub-menus that are listed under it. They are develop proposals, find funding, route and submit proposal, set up project, manage project, and close out project. We also have the training and workshop menu item, main menu item, that has several menu items under it. Many of these menu items under the training and workshop link externally. For instance, we have the IFS training, we have the ANOVA webinars, and the rest of them. But we also have some menu items that link internally. For instance, we have the training, workshop, and conferences, which links to the capacity building page, and then you have the OAU COR online training. We also have a couple of other menu items like the resources, which displays all the resources that are very important for the operationalization of this website. And then we have the FAQ menu item, the sign up, and the login. Apart from these menu items, the OAU Community of Practice for Grantsmanship website has on its landing page some live news feeds and live information about grant opportunities from different websites all over the world. If we click on news and events, for instance, it brings us down to the news section. But underneath the news section, we have the grants opportunities by the left hand side, and we have the local news on the right hand side. The section on the left hand side allows users to click on tabs that should display different granting opportunities by different funding organizations all over the world. At the moment, not all of these tabs are functional, but as we go on, we'll be able to get more feeds from relevant granting agencies all over the world. On the right hand side, we have the local news. This section is for news about events, upcoming events, or publications or any important information that should be circulated related to research and grantsmanship in OAU. If we go further down, we will see the OAU facts and figures for grants. This section of the website is presently static, but our hope is that as time goes on, as this portal accumulates more information, and as this portal is operationalized to achieve more grants or achieve any more grants for scholars in the OAU, this section will become dynamic. Under the community section is a summary of what this entire website is all about. And if we go further down, we are going to see a list of all the funders of the website. And if we go further down, we'll see the newsletter section. And then if we go further down, we see the footer section that has some relevant links as well to other aspects of the website. The live chat, a live chat utility has been implemented on the landing page and indeed every other page of the OAU COP website. At the lower right hand side, somewhere here, you can see a Get Help button. When you click on it, it pops out a field that you can use to interact with the technical support of the COP. So anytime there is a challenge or anytime there is a request or a need for an urgent information about the operationalization of the website, users can easily engage the live chat to get such information. Aside from the live chat, at the upper right hand side there is the search, which allows us to search for virtually any item that is related or that is incorporated on the website. Now, for any new person that is coming to this website for the first time, the very first point of interaction will most likely be the Get Started button. When you initiate the Get Started button, the website scrolls automatically to the section, the Get Started section of the website. On the Get Started section of the website, we have the Access Research Toolkit, the Start New Project tab, and the Find Research Admin tab. If you click on the Access Research Toolkit tab, the website loads a couple of links where users can initiate to have access to different resources and toolkits that have been implemented on the website. These resources and these links and toolkits will keep changing as we further enrich the website. And then if you click on the Start New Project, it brings up another model that provides information about how to create an account and use the dashboard of the COP website. And of course, if you click on the Find Research Admin, it brings up information about different research administrators that have been assigned to different faculties and sections of the university to attend to users on this website.
The room is kind of cold after hearing that. There is a Chino Achebe's proverb, about the Agama lizard who jumped from the Iroko and was nodding his head with pride. Now, congratulations to our PI, Professor Kehinde Taiwo. This is the first ever community of practice website for grantsmanship in sub-Saharan Africa. If you can produce a parallel link to this, please produce it. Do Google search, use string, the keywords, community of practice, or hibernate with grantsmanship and see the results. So that is how proud we are of this. We have a follow-up video which is the extra practice for community of practice for grantsmanship. That is on the dashboard. But before then, this is also an exercise. This is the first time this will be displayed to an audience within the community. This is the first time. And in this case, it is called beta testing. It is not launched yet. It's still under loading. If you ask me, we are like 75%. 75% done. But the critical feedback from you, from this audience, will help the team. What are the feedbacks? What kind of feedbacks do we expect? Number one, how viewable, how friendly, how user-friendly, how navigable. Those are the qualities of a website. The color combinations, the content, how enriching, how inspiring for grantsmanship. That is the goal, isn't it? So we are going to compile all this and you are going to share them as part of this session. So the next item on the agenda to complement this phase is another video about the dashboard. The dashboard is the portal for operationalizing grantsmanship. That is practicing grantsmanship. How do you upload for preview, for review, and get feedback? And if you ask me, what is the reason why we have ratio 1 to 10 to ratio 1 to 30? What is the reason? And what's the reason that other institutions have ratio 1 to 5, meaning higher success rate? If you ask me, some institutions do a whole lot of in-house laundry. Many of these institutions have a stamp that if this grant proposal application is coming from OAU, it has a brand name. It has the hallmark of excellence, meaning that we could use this to narrow that ratio. Instead of ratio 1 to, like my own case now, my own ratio is like ratio 1 to 20. I need to be honest with all of you. But I really can work on that ratio to make it ratio. If my mentor is doing ratio 1 to 10, he taught me at all CADA and mentored me at all CADA. I want to beat his record, and he will be proud that I beat his record. And then you are my younger ones to also beat my record. It ultimately will be aim at ratio 1 to 2, can't we? So the next video now is on the dashboard. And we say, what is the dashboard? It's a portal system, just like the e-portal, that enables you to aggregate your own record for grants. All the ones you submitted will be aggregated within that portal. The review feedback will be accumulated within that portal. It becomes your own electronic folder for your grants. And we say institutions that have it have a higher success rate for grants. Institutions that do not have it, I don't know what to say. So, thank you.
This video is to introduce you to the dashboard of the OU Community of Practice for Grantsmanship website. The dashboard is a personalized area for users of the website. To have access to the dashboard, you need to have an account created. To create an account as a researcher or as an administrator, all you need to do is to sign up. You initiate the sign up button. When you click on it, it takes you to the sign up form. Please fill the form below to register on the OUCAP. You will need to provide a username and a password and all the details that are specified on the form. You also need to agree with the terms of service of the website. As soon as you do that, you are going to receive an email that instructs you on how to complete your registration. When you are done with that process, then you'll be required to log in. So I'm going to click on the login now. When you click on the login, it takes you to the login page. And on the login page, you can put in your username and your password. I have created a username and a password previously for myself. And then I'm going to log in. Now, when you are logging in as a user on the OAU Community of Practice website, you are going to see a button or a menu that was not previously displayed. That menu is User Dashboard. For me, because I'm an admin, I can see additional menu. But for ordinary users or for users that don't have the administrative privilege, they will see just the User Dashboard. When you click on the User Dashboard menu, the link takes you to the User Dashboard of the OAU COP website. So this is the first page on the User Dashboard, or the first tab. This tab is where you get information about, or very important information about what is going on within the community. It can be customized to carry any other information, that is desired, and it will be very dynamic. Also on this page will be information or summaries or analytics about what you are doing by using the Community of Practice website. Now, the main purpose of this dashboard is to accept proposals. So you can utilize this dashboard to submit your proposals such that the Central Office of Research can now receive them, process them accordingly, and give the necessary feedback to you before final submission to the granting or the grant agency. To start the process of creating or submitting your proposal on the Community of Practice website, you will need to initiate the Create New Proposal tab. Create New Proposal. With this tab, you have the option of selecting the type of grant that you are trying to make a proposal on, and then you click on Next, and then you provide the details of the proposal. Alright, so I'm just going to put in some arbitrary figures, and then you select the timeline, click on Next. If there is any project duration, you specify it, 4 weeks, and then the keywords pertaining to the project, biochemistry, and then you can use this field to provide other pertinent information if they are required. And once you have that provided, the next thing is to upload the proposal file. You need to choose a type of file. I'm choosing Word document, and then you upload the file by clicking on choose file. I'll quickly just pick a Word file and then click on next. When you click on next, then you see the upload button. When you initiate the upload button, then you need to wait for the dashboard to receive your file. If the process is successful, the dashboard is going to give you a notification that your proposal has been uploaded to the COP website successfully, and the name of the file will be logged accordingly. Now, once you have submitted your proposal, the admin will get a notification that a proposal has been submitted and has the ability to now start the process of reviewing the proposal. The admin also have their own dashboard, which will be revealed to the administrators of the website. Now, every proposal submitted on the OAU COP website can be viewed. So to view the proposals you have submitted, you go to the My Proposals. So you are going to see some of the proposals that have been submitted. Now, apart from the proposal, you can also have meetings on the dashboards, maybe with research administrators or with colleagues that you are writing the proposal with. So we have provided the Jitsi online meeting tool that allows you to do that. So for me to have this meeting, all I need to do now is just to click on Start Online Meeting right within the dashboard, and it loads Jitsi, and it asks whether I want to enable my camera, and then once I do that, just like Zoom, I start the meeting, and then once I'm done with the meeting, then I can stop online meeting. Aside from that, it's possible to also get notifications directly within the dashboard. So every important information that is meant for the user will be received in the inbox. For instance, when a user's proposal has been reviewed, this is the section or the tab that reveals that the proposal is now ready for final submission. And then we also have the team members tab, and then you have the My Account tab, and then you have the technical support tab. Now, the tabs for the user dashboard will keep changing as we get more feedback and as we add more features to the entire portal or to the entire dashboard area. Thank you.
So it's warmer this time, isn't it? This has taken so much to get to this phase. Implementing a grant that delivered this and all the workshops. We thank the PI for this. We also have this part was subcontracted, and part of the lessons in grantsmanship is to learn subcontracting. What is the meaning? You got a grant, but part of the activities of the grant will be outsourced, meaning you pay a contractor or a service provider to deliver that part of the project. In this case, the design of the website was subcontracted, and we followed due process. We had an advertisement that was widely circulated, and then 3 bidders came up, and they were subjected to interview by Inteco. You know Inteco, OAU Inteco. And then the winner of the bid is Mr. Tosin Odubela, the SYL Media. Please come. But that was when the struggle started. Because this was a first time. He has done several sites. Part of the requirements for all of them was to showcase previous designs. So they all showcased, and he was selected on the basis of the criteria that were enumerated ab initio. And now the real work started. Now the difficulty for him, he has done websites, but he has not done a web-enabled COP website where you need to embed a portal system within the website. The dashboard is a portal system. And he put all his creativity to task. And to God be the glory for showcasing this today. We want to honestly acknowledge, and I really wanted him to be here. And there were last-minute struggles following Murphy's Law. This past 48 hours, we have been trying to violate Murphy's Law. You know Murphy's Law, that whatever could go wrong could also go right. That is recasting Murphy's Law. There was a malware attack 48 hours before. We have been struggling with that till this moment. We finally managed to get the website up, but we are still trying to determine the causal factors for that. After all, this is not the website for a bank. I know there's a lot of granting agencies, several global currencies attached to those granting. I don't know what that's why but we are on that. Just to acknowledge your efforts very, very openly. Thank you. Sit down. So, these two videos summarized everything, but this is the beginning of the work. This is not ceremonial. The value for this work is to get all of us inspired on the pathway of grantsmanship. For those who came yesterday, there was a take-home message, the track record of one of our fathers, who is a retiree now, who got an accumulative, the quantum, the sum of all the grants were over ₦1 billion. Incidentally, there's an aspect of it that was not told yesterday. Did you ask what was the impact of those grants? And I can tell you the impact. Part of the impact of the last grant was a scholarship to PG students, about 10 PG students across Nigeria, starting from OAU. Each of them got equivalent of about 1.1 million naira from that grant, meaning that covered all of their field research, a branded laptop, and all the fees for OAU Postgraduate College written off. I was part of the process. So when we talk about grants, it's not about you. It's not about the individual. It is about a service. For example, we monitored some of those beneficiaries. Some, it was really a case of it get as it be when it comes to that program. Really, in terms of surviving the program. Imagine a random home in Nigeria that a daughter, now it was for females alone, that a daughter meets the father and mother and says, look, I just got this support up to the tune of 1.1 M from the department through Professor Ibi Shomaya. That was random now. Imagine that support, meaning that we are using that to showcase the immense benefits that can accrue through grant. It's a service you are rendering. It's not your money. It's not my money. In fact, if you look at the quantum, it's not really about you now. It's about a service. Another take-home message is the real worth of our PhDs is that service through intellect now, that service through grant to the community. There were people within OAU, within faculties, who got fully supported with monthly support, monthly, all through the course of their programs, before our own eyes, all through grants, all through. So we cannot echo the benefits enough. So this is beyond you. He got over ₦1 billion accumulation of grant, but it was for service delivery through science, innovation, and pursuing the frontiers of knowledge to the community. That is the understanding. So it's not as if somebody is going to get that quote and start living in a palatial of home, or start misusing or abusing or doing the kind of things you are not supposed to do, particularly for the men. It's not your money anyway, so be careful. Okay? So that is the background to all this. There are a few quick observations for the dashboard. Only OAU net emails are allowed. That is a requirement. That is to ease out external people who may want to leverage on this. It's for OAU community alone. That is the first point. Number two is all the videos, the 2 navigation videos are part of the website. And extra videos from me and from Professor Olumak are all there as part of the video. Of interest too is the feature he added. You've heard of the Jitsi. What does Jitsi do? From instant meetings too. Incidentally, for the TEDFund portal has its own Jitsi, but it's not called Jitsi. They call it a dashboard embedded, meaning that once you log in, you can interact and hold meetings about the development of the proposal with your team members. Meaning that a COP for grantsmanship is incomplete without Jitsi, but he added that on his own, and that really would facilitate, particularly across distance or virtual meetings. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is the layout of the grantsmanship website for OAU. But it is not ceremonial, like I said before. It can only be gainful or beneficial if it is put into operation. Meaning you register, that's your volition, and then have an account. Then you can upload, some of these drafts of grab. But there are other steps too. For example, there are forms and there are other considerations. But we want to pause a bit to get feedback from all of us. You have seen the layout, the totality of the website. For example, is it disappointing? Is it appalling? Is it not up to taste? Is it below your expectation? Are there critical gaps? The website too covers IPTTO, Intellectual Property and Technology Transfer Office. For example, it says, after all your research, what happens? What are the real gains? Are there opportunities for patenting? Are there opportunities for copyright? Those are the gains, meaning that is the gateway towards research commercialization. Research does not stop with publication. Research does not stop with promotion. The real gain, which we are missing in this part of the world, is the commercialization of research. Incidentally, we have a number of patents already from the College of Health Sciences, Pharmacy, Technology, etc., but it can be more. So there's a whole lot of information on intellectual property and technology transfer and then research commercialization. We also have a fellow too, Benga here. Okay, so it's also part of it. But the website, we are currently scratching our head, looking for gaps to fill. But I think we did the best that we can, but your feedback can help us. So we're going to pause for some few minutes and get feedback from all of you. So let me pause now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And for the research group in OAU, I wanted to say UI. For the research group in OAU, the director, I must say that this is out of this world. It's awesome. The initiative is highly innovative. As a matter of fact, having it in this part of the world, in Nigeria that nothing works. Well, that's my opinion. But something is working here now. It's out of this world for me. But my question is, as much as this is very, very, very interesting, very exciting and insightful, I know that sometimes when we access websites outside here, they will ask you for some service charge, or maybe they will ask that, for example, if I write my proposal and upload, it will be assessed, it will be reviewed, it will now come back to me for final submission. What is the OAU or the group benefiting for going all the way to support me, to encourage me, and make sure that my proposal scales through? So I want to know, like I said, some websites will ask for 20%. Maybe if your grant goes through, they will ask you for maybe 10% or 5% of that grant that is coming. If it comes, that's what the website will benefit, or the managers of the website or the owners will benefit. So for this one now, what's the research group in OAU going to benefit for helping me? Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I must congratulate the team for giving us this exciting platform to do research. My questions are 5. Yeah, but the first one is partly answered. I was thinking about privacy. You know, we have been told that proposals are private and they are not meant to be made public. But if we upload our proposals on the portal, and God forbid, supposing there is an attack that accesses these things, what happens? Or what are the plans for avoiding such things? I mean, security for the website. The second question is about facility for private backup of personal data. Do we have this kind of facility on the website? That is, when I upload my proposals, can I also back up personally? The second one is it possible for the portal to synchronize news for users? That is to, how do I say it now? Okay, let me just say it as it is, to synchronize news based on the user's specialization, such that when I get to the portal now, I don't have to see news from medicine, from pharmacy, but I can just have a way of synchronizing the things that are relevant to me based on my field and dependent on the data that I have supplied to the portal. And the fourth one, can the full facilities of the portal be accessed from all over the world? Or are there some that can only be accessed from within OAU or from within Nigeria? And then the fifth question is not necessarily meant for the team. We talked about institutional rules in all of these things. And we know the Nigerian factor. There is a department that I know in OAU where a single lecturer teaches 10 courses. And I'm not talking about co-teaching, sole teaching, 10 courses, up to 170 students in a class. So 3 unit courses times 10, that gives you about 30 hours of teaching in a week. And when you are done with the teaching, you grade CA, you grade the exams, and you are never through with teaching. And these are realities on ground. Like I said, it's not a question for the team, but the research office can also advise the university on either recruiting staff or reducing the students that they are taking for some of those departments so that people can concentrate more on the actual conduct of research. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. What department are you?
I'm from Linguistics and African Languages.
Okay. Now, this is a community of practice, so you are hereby instantly co-opted into that community. Those are very brilliant questions. Let me quickly respond before we get more, please. Let's, the last question now is about the workload. Incidentally, it is also skewed in many departments, skewed against the early careers who bear the brunt. That is a reality. And then the question is, when do you have time to write for grants? That is the issue. I think, again, this is not for this forum per se, but we could have opportunity to present that to management. The Vice Chancellor is a grantee himself. He knows about this topic, about grants. So it's not alien to him. So that is for that last question. The question about accessibility in any part of the world, yes, it's accessible just like any grant website. It's accessible, but that was why the dashboard was also protected because of the confidentiality issue. Okay? There are also ethical considerations that a reviewer, that all reviewers are very advanced and mature, that a reviewer does not feast on the ideas of the proposal that were submitted. Incidentally, that's a global concern. For those who review for NIH and other big granting agencies, there is an oath of confidentiality. And if it is violated, the career person is ruined. So that is a major issue. Yes, the website is available, accessible in every part of the world. Now, synchronizing the news, that's a very brilliant question too. We have all users' information, we have the news about grants and calls, but the synchronization is a challenge. Meaning, what are the specific calls for those in humanities and social sciences? What are the calls for biomedical fields? What are the calls for science, technology, and engineering? What are the calls that are cross-cutting? What are the calls that are on emerging areas? So this issue was raised, and I'm sure Professor Taiwo will add to this about the synchronization and how to make sure that each person has what you call tailor-made information, if I can use that word, tailor-made calls. If I'm in humanities now, I can't be dealing with other calls in engineering, for example. So we're going to look into that. Then the confidentiality thing was mentioned. Those who review are given special privilege, meaning they are accomplished, they are grants women and men, they are in a senior cadre in their careers, meaning that confidentiality issue should not be a challenge. They are already accomplished in their own rights, they are mentors, and that is in the true sense of the word. So having to want to pilfer the ideas of others really out of it. But then there is also a confidentiality form to protect the COP. There are ethical considerations to avoid that. Then the privacy. Yes, the proposals are not public. They are not. They are not all uploaded to a public gallery. That is why all those who have access to the dashboard, even the admin, there are two components to the dashboard. There is the user for those who submit. There is the admin component for which the users are not accessible. And then for the admin, that is super protected, isn't it? Meaning they have, incidentally, all other granting agencies, for Wellcome Trust, the IFS, even TED Fund, have all the, so confidentiality is protected. But we need to look at extra layers. The first question was the charge for this service. That is so general, and that's so considerate of you that all these were delivered pro bono, gratis, really. But the infrastructure needs to be maintained. The service providers need to be paid. Everything that looks good costs money, meaning over time. And we talk about sustainability. Incidentally, we have follow-up grants for the maintenance, including the compensation of the reviewers. If they review like up to N number, you have a payment for that. And that is to motivate or incentivize the reviewers so that if they accumulate like up to 10 or 15 or 20 reviews, they are sure of a payment. So we have, again, we also needed to build that in as part of another grant for which we are expecting the outcome. So but for personal compensation, we were reminded of our mandate for teaching, research, and okay. So, but it's duly acknowledged that this took more than we really bargained for. For me, for the team, and for the developer, it was way beyond what we thought. And we have this heart of gratitude for having this today. So, next question.
Thank you, sir. I'm Dr. Oluwayemi Olagunju from Nursing. Sir, I want to inquire, is there a way that this platform is submerged in the main OAU website? Because when you log into OAU and you try to scroll through the news and you get there, it makes it easier than logging out, then going back to check for, do we have this community? Is there a way I link myself up from my normal OAU platform to link?
Thank you. A very good question again. Again, the link deliberately, the link is grantsmanship.oauife.edu.ng, deliberately, meaning it is not outsourced, it's not operated, meaning within the domain of OAU. That was what that link was crafted for it. So, meaning that it is also accessible within the and all the files and all the components are uploaded within the OAU, but it has to have that link with the domain attached to oauife.edu.ng. Next question.
Okay, thank you, sir. My name is Zakintayo Ojo from URP. My question or my observation is this: bearing from what we learned yesterday, that these seminar or group of us that are here are almost in quote a community of practice platform sort of. And this morning when I was meditating or meeting on what we did yesterday and preparing for today, it came to my mind if there could be a need or an avenue for a kind of creating clusters for area of specialization. For instance, those in EDM, who are they, what are their interests? And when the website was being displayed under the dashboard for individual, I saw a sub-menu, my team. I don't know if this also can be integrated on the general platform that, for instance, I'm in EDM, I want to work with somebody in Earth Sciences. I can just go to that cluster, who are those that are contacts that possibly are talking about interdisciplinary or crossing research. So I want to believe that this can make it better to have a cluster link. This cluster, who are those that are there, who are the people that can reach out to for collaboration. Thank you, sir.
You are a true practitioner of the COP. That is, please take his question very deeply. That is the operationalization of the COP. For example, the word cluster, you have research or grant clusters. It could be within EDM, it could be for collaboration, it could be across. For example, for one of the NRF had a proposal that linked EDM and public health. We could have a cluster for that, and luckily the dashboard has an opportunity for creating such teams. And then JITC for online interaction. But that is going A level in the practice of grantsmanship. Grantsmanship goes beyond unidisciplinary. How do we bring all those clusters together, and then they have a very competitive proposal as the outcome. So that is how it is. And that is particularly important for a university like OAU at 61. You have over 100 departments, meaning a big university. You have 13 faculties, several colleges, several institutes, several centers. So the clustering of these disciplines. But the real advantage too is how are you competitive globally? The Gates Foundation courses are collaborative and interdisciplinary. So we will look into that. Thank you for that. Next.
Okay, thank you, Prof. I'm Luke Maolasukami from the Department of Chemistry. Two quick ones. I thank the COR for coming out with this initiative. It's very laudable and indication that we can also do a lot competitively with other parts of the world. And I thank or commend the Mr. Odubela's team for a good job that has been delivered. On the online meeting, since you'll be accessing it from the portal, how possible is it for a member of team outside OAU to join that meeting when you are accessing the portal using OAU email? So that's the first question. Then the second one is, how well will you say the website will manage traffic of users when you have so many users using it or accessing it at the same time? Because we usually have peak period, e.g. NRF time and things like that.
Thank you. Again, very brilliant questions. And my excitement that this is a robust community of practice already. All these questions will help to improve the layout. Starting from your second question, we all know about the functionality of these portals during peak periods, where everybody and their teams are online 24/7. I don't want to remind myself of the last NRF. I don't just want to, because of the volume of things that the COR needed to, and that easily comes in. Again, that was factored in about scale. For example, during the design, how many, for example, what is, in terms of the peak period, what is the maximum number of logins concurrently? And will that crash or hold the system? I'm happy the developer is here to really, we don't want to get into those challenges before we try to solve them. That is why your feedback is so important. That was factored in, including the allocation of space per team, per individual, and per cluster. There's the allocation, what's the space? 100 MB, okay. But we're also thinking of expanding that because of the scale of operation. But that's a very, very good one. About online meeting, login, using OAU net, emails. That was very deliberate. We reviewed NRF TED Fund 3 years, the one before the 2022. Somehow, during the review process, we got infiltrators from outside. They submitted the NRF only during this post-review with, oh, this is from University X. But that was only possible because that cannot happen with the portal, because you are a bona fide member of OAU community if you have the OAU net email. But we had infiltrators with previous reviews, that then the time was so tight, we did not have time to really, I mean, reviewing for OAU was tasking enough, not to talk of reviewing for the whole world. But all this will be duly considered. Thank you. Next.
Thank you very much, sir, for the initiative. I just have one quick addition. If it's not going to be asking too much, I saw IPTTO on the website, and I am hoping that you'll be able to bring research ethics also to the website, so that it will be like a one-stop shop for everything research that you want to carry out. You wouldn't have to go down to all these services. Just click their link, talk to them, and then you can get whatever it is you want to do.
Thank you. We already have contents on research ethics, but it can be better. We need to work with your unit Incidentally, as mentioned yesterday, research ethics is the bedrock. Your institutional ranking is predicated on ethics. If ethics fail, then the whole structure has crumbled. No granting agency will reckon with you because of your rank or grade for ethics and compliance. So that is okay. Please, beyond this forum, please let's work together on that to make sure that the contents, including the documents from your unit. Oh, where's the lady, the other lady from ethics? Richard, okay. Please note that. That is a key part of it. Institutions are graded on their compliance with ethics. So we hope that can work out, a very important contribution to this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I join the others to commend this great innovation, and also thank the last speaker because he took out one of my questions about integrating ethics on the platform.
But follow up on the question, though.
I will. I've already noted it, sir.
Good.
Thank you, sir. One of my expectations yesterday was on research administration, and immediately we left here yesterday, I remember one person came to meet me. Our observation was that all we were doing yesterday was just for teaching staff. That it doesn't seem to consider the non-teaching staff. I'm a non-teaching staff. I'm a pharmacist. I have a master's in public health, and I manage the ethics community administration. I have specialized skills, and I know many people also who are non-teaching staff have such specialized skills too. On this platform, are there grants and calls that consider maybe researches or things that non-teaching staff can also benefit from? That's my first question. And secondly, in creating the instant meeting, from what I saw displayed is as if when you just click on that platform, the Gypsy is called it, you just start the meeting. Is there a possibility of scheduling meetings so that people of your cluster within that platform, they receive the notice and then you start at a scheduled time? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Starting with the first question, I need to echo this. We have numerous granting opportunities for non-academics, one of which you are involved now with the Carnegie program, and about 8 of you have maybe ratio 50-50. What's the ratio of academics to non-academics? 50-50. And the funding is from the Carnegie Corporation of New York. It's also funding this event and all this workshop. The same Carnegie funded the scholarships for female students 12, 13, 14 years ago. The same Carnegie is still there. It's a big logo for OAU. There are these opportunities. So the starting point is this IREX UASP. And we have an arrangement that brings multiple benefits to non-academics as well as academics. There is the certificate, there is the fellowship, there is the grant. Again, it is for academics and non-academics, but we feel that it's also tilted towards non-academics. What is the reason for that? IREX USP under the Carnegie Group says for senior non-academics in the bursary, audit, or registry. Take a look at your institutional landscape. What are the deficits? What are the gaps? Is it with any aspect of the service? And then craft that in a proposal. I have Professor K. Taiwo and others, including myself, to guide. So the first step is identify a real problem in service delivery within audit, bursary, and all other units. And then craft it and make it persuasive, and it will be funded. So sorry that was not echoed very much yesterday. So under the Carnegie Group, and then the Carnegie Group comes as a cluster A cluster means it has numerous appendages for funding. But the university administration support program is one out of over 30. Okay. So that is the starting point. And then through the COP, if you look at the implementation of the research life cycle, for example, it is not the duties of academics to scan for opportunities. Elsewhere, it is actually the non-academic staff within the central office of research. They scan, they do synchronization. Who raised the question? For example, they could bunch into 13 clusters, EDM, technology, science, health sciences, and then the UI model, which is the research management model, they deliver that each cluster. You have a research administrator attached to a faculty. He or she liaises with that faculty. Like for this month of August, these are the calls for proposals for health sciences. And he or she will deliver, highlighting the timelines and the other requirements. So thank you for that question. Meaning that there are robust opportunities. In fact, a COP is non-functional without that. Even post-award, for example, if you have to do a budget for Gates Foundation, it requires all the expertise in the world. You really know for chartered accountants to do, or for EU. These are specialized processes. They have their own custom-made Excel sheets, tailor-made for their own. And you now require somebody with that requisite training to go through all that, but also within the COR or within the bursary, then audit and all that. So they are a big part of this. You want to add to this?
Oh, you are looking for me. Hello. Thank you for the question, Rachel. Actually, after the interaction yesterday, somebody from bursary talked with me, and he said, this workshop is actually for us, and he's a non-academic staff. I believe it's a matter of perspective. In constituting participants, we were mindful to carry along non-academics. In developed countries, the Office of Research is run by non-academics. Here it is an anomaly. The fact that we professors are running Office of Research is an anomaly. It is not part of my day-to-day work. It shouldn't be. As I'm here, some other things are suffering. But it takes time to build the change. Your team has met with the DVC. Our team met with the DVC, VC, BOSA, and we are gradually making the impact. The registrar is yet to fully agree to retain our staff because we designed a career path to prevent them from transferring them over, out. So, this work should actually be done by non-academics. Our own job as a researcher is to conceive the idea and write it up. I like to study the female children's rights concerning inheritance. You understand? I'm just so I write it up. Why is it important? What have they done? What are the gaps? I do all of that. Then I go to the COR, tell them how many people I want to study, in what location. They have budget experts. Library is here. What books do you need? Why is it important? Audit. What role do you play in research? Because before you get cash advance, it will go to audit. When you have finished buying, audit must approve. CTLW is here. You are constructing materials for research. All the units that we have invited, Central Science Lab, you are here. You are conducting research. People drop their samples and they come for results. The results must be meaningful. It is not just presenting data to say here's your result. You look at the trend. Sometimes we pay for research test outside and the result is completely meaningless. But if you know the import or importance of this data you are presenting, you pay more attention. We talked about responsible conduct of research, research integrity, research ethics. I reviewed a paper last week and I told the editor, this research cannot be repeated anywhere with the current information provided by the author. In publication, your work should be anywhere. The data was just incomplete. He said he did biscuit and he didn't give the recipe. He gave the ingredients. How useful is that? So if I decide to change the recipe, I won't be getting what he's getting. So non-academics, please, you may think we have wasted your time. We haven't. It is true our Office of Research is yet to be fully composed of the relevant stakeholders. But when research requests come to you, we want you to treat the cases with passion, with understanding of what this is all about. If you don't come with us, along with us, you just think it's just another ordinary paper. Research many times is time bound. Colleagues have missed opportunities because of delayed cash advance. Maybe the rainy season has gone. You are supposed to plant something in March, repeat it in September so that you can verify what you have. If the research, money is not coming out on time, or health research. So please, non-academics, you are a big part of research. Thank you.
Thank you for that. The summary that the IRES Carnegie Group provides an opportunity for non-academics to initiate, propose, and lead an intervention program so long as it has to do with university improvement in service delivery. And then the details. We have 2 batches already. We have batch 1 led by our headmistress. And then batch 2 with higher number. We try to look at the calendar for that. Batch 3 probably will come towards the second half of 2023. We want to accumulate as many IREX, USP fellows as possible with multiple gains, fellowship, a trip to the US, and a grant. To lead, and to be our excitement. And for the ratio to tilt more towards the non-academic, it's actually your business, really, for many of these interventions. So thank you for that. Next question.
My name. Hello. My name is Dr. Ayodele Daniel from Material Science and Engineering. I want to appreciate our PI and the team for the job well done concerning the website. And also I want to appreciate the website designer. This is my observation yesterday after the meeting when I went to the website. One has been well addressed. That is, by clicking on those icons for the grant agency like IDRC, IFS, I was expecting that it will take me to their site. Therefore, it's important that when you click on those, those icons, there should be a kind of linkage so that the news, the course can be synchronized. You can be able to view it. That's first. Another observation is that when I was registering, I was redirected to